Hai and Assalamualaikum. Kami dari Grup 1 ingin membentangkan tentang Kelantan Gold Panning Case Study. For introduction, in November 2025, the Kelantan State Government introduced a licensing system that allow local residents to pan for gold in selected river area in Tanah Merah and Jeli in order to create income opportunities. However, gold panning occur in river system that function as common pool resources, where excessive and uncontrolled use can lead to environmental degradation, reduced water quality, and negative impact on other river users. This presentation analyzes the Kelantan gold panning case using common pool resource and ecosystem service framework and propose policy recommendation to balance economic benefit with environmental sustainability. For common pool resource identification analysis, first, identification of the common pool resources, Kelantan River System, especially Sungai Kelantan and its tributaries in Tanah Merah and Jeli, are clear example of common pool resources. They exhibit rivalry as activities like gold panning disturb sediment, degrade water quality and damage ecosystem, reducing benefit for fishermen, downstream user and the environment. At the same time, exploitability is low because the river are open, mountains and difficult to monitor, making it nearly impossible to restrict access. As a result, these rivers are neither private property nor pure public goods, making SPR analysis the most appropriate framework to understand their management challenge. Secondly, identification of resource user. The Kelantan River System support multiple user group including individual gold panner license and unlicensed, river fishermen and subsistence fishing communities, local residents relying on river water for domestic use, water treatment plant and water supply authorities, recreational users, swimming and picnicking, commercial mining companies holding legal concession, and the natural ecosystem itself. The diversity of users increase competition and the potential for conflict over river use. Thirdly, tragedy of the common analysis. Scenario 1, open access no licensing. Under an open access regime, individuals are free to pay for gold as long as their private benefit exceed their private cost. Based on provided data, individual gold panner earn a positive net income of RM15 per day, creating a strong incentive for entry. As more individuals enter, the number of panner quickly exceed the river sustainable capacity of 50 users. This lead to over extraction ecosystem and ecosystem degradation and a net social welfare loss, illustrating the classic tragedy of the common. Scenario 2, license access, current policy. The introduction of licensing increase excludability and limit access. However, if too many licenses are issued, the river may still be used beyond its ecological capacity, resulting in continued environmental degradation, although at a reduced rate compared to open access.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Faris bin Faizal Hedi. My matric number is E24B3376. Okay, my task is ecosystem service assessment. First of all, I want to explain about introduction. In introduction, have Kelantan rivers shared resources. Rivers provide many ecosystem service. Gold panning give income but may harm the environment. Sungai di Kelantan digunakan oleh ramai orang. Jadi, ia adalah sumber bersama atau common pool resources. Sungai ini menyediakan banyak manfaat seperti air, ikan dan nilai budaya. Baru-baru ini kerajaan membenarkan penduduk menoreh emas dengan lesen. Walaupun ini memberikan pendapatan, ia juga boleh memberi kesan kepada alam sekitar jika tidak diuruskan dengan baik. Yang kedua ialah provisioning service, fresh water for drinking, farming, livestock, fish and food for local communities, river resources, support livelihood, iaitu sebelum aktiviti menoreh emas, sungai menyediakan air bersih untuk minum, pertanian dan penternakan. Sungai juga menyediakan ikan dan makanan akuatik lain untuk komuniti tempatan. Selain itu, penduduk luar bandar bergantung kepada sungai untuk pekerjaan seperti menangkap ikan dan mengumpul sumber sungai. Manfaat ini dipanggil perkhidmatan penyediaan kerana ia menyediakan sumber secara langsung untuk manusia. Yang ketiga ialah regulating service, iaitu river filter water naturally and reduce floods and prevent erosion. Iaitu sungai juga mempunyai perkhidmatan pengawalan yang penting. Sungai menapis sedimen dan pencemar secara semula jadi. Mengekalkan kebersihan air untuk pengguna hilir. Sungai membantu mengurangkan impak banjir semasa hujan lebat. Melindungi rumah dan ladang. Dan akhir sekali, vegetasi tepi sungai mencegah hakisan tanah, mengekalkan kestabilan tanah. Perkhidmatan ini membantu manusia dan ekosistem kekal seimbang. Yang keempat, cultural service, rivers for recreation and rivers for support tradition and culture. Iaitu sungai penting dari segi budaya dan sosial. Penduduk menggunakan sungai untuk rekreasi seperti mandi atau berkelah. Sungai juga sebahagian daripada tradisi tempatan seperti memperolehi emas secara kecil-kecilan dan aktiviti komuniti. Manfaat ini dipanggil perkhidmatan budaya kerana meningkatkan kesejahteraan manusia dan mengekalkan warisan. Yang kelima, supporting service, habitat for fish and plants, nutrient cycling and food chains. Sungai juga menyediakan perkhidmatan sokongan untuk mengekalkan kesihatan ekosistem. Sungai menjadi habitat untuk ikan, tumbuhan dan hidupan liar lain. Sungai juga menyokong kitaran nutrien yang membantu tumbuhan dan haiwan tumbuh. Sungai yang sihat membolehkan rantaian makanan berfungsi, di mana setiap organisma bergantung antara satu sama lain. Perkhidmatan ini penting kerana ia menyokong semua manfaat lain. Yang keenam, impact for gold panning, water quality down, fish down and income increase, erosion increase, habitat damage, recreation down and traditional practice increase. Iaitu penggalian emas memberi kesan kepada perkhidmatan ini. Gangguan sedimen membuat air menjadi keruh, mengurangkan kualiti air, jumlah ikan berkurang kerana habitat terganggu. Namun, aktiviti ini juga memberikan pendapatan jangka pendek untuk komuniti tempatan. Jadi, terdapat pertukaran antara manfaat ekonomi dan kesan terhadap alam sekitar. Number 7, monsoon season. Monsoon season increase river disturbance, panning during monsoon worsen damage, and seasonal bands help ecosystem recovery. Iaitu penggalian emas juga menjejaskan perkhidmatan pengawalan. Hakisan meningkat dan kemampuan sungai menapis air berkurang. Kualiti rekreasi berkurang kerana sungai menjadi kurang bersih dan menarik. Sebaliknya, aktiviti memperolehi emas dengan lesen menyokong amalan tradisional secara sah, mengekalkan warisan budaya. Ini juga menunjukkan bahawa ada kesan negatif tetapi ada juga manfaat positif jika diuruskan dengan baik. Last but not least, for conclusion, in conclusion, Kelantan River provide many ecosystem service and goal panning creates both positive and negative impact. Most impact are temporary if goal panning is controlled and done manually. Seasonal bans, especially during monsoon flooding, help the river recover naturally. Kesimpulannya, sungai di Kelantan menyediakan banyak perkhidmatan ekosistem dan perolehan emas, memberi kesan positif dan negatif. Kebanyakan kesan boleh dipulih jika aktiviti dikawal dan dilakukan secara manual. Larangan musim monsun membantu sungai pulih secara semula jadi. Peraturan, pemantauan dan penguatkuasaan kerajaan yang kuat penting untuk memastikan sumber bersama ini digunakan secara lestari pada masa hadapan. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, saya Muhammad Syafiq Hafiza. Okay, for my first point is ekonomi pendulang emas individu. Untuk yang research saya buat adalah hasil harian, hasil sama dengan pembelian emas darab harga, iaitu 0.5 gram kali dengan RM250 gram. Persamaan 125 per hari. Okay, jumlah kos harian sama dengan itulah 125 per hari. Okay, pendapatan harian bersih, contohnya pendapatan bersih dia hasil tolak jumlah kos sama dengan RM125 tolak RM75 sama dengan 50 per hari. Pemandangan pendapatan harian bersih adalah positif, iaitu RM50 per hari. Individu akan menyertai aktiviti mendulang emas lah. Okey, bagi B pula adalah kesan aggregate bilangan mendulang emas. Dengan pendapatan bersih positif 200 hingga 300, pendulang emas akan menyertai sistem sungai. Boleh menampung sehingga 500 pendulang emas lah, tetapi lebih daripada 500 pendulang emas akan menyebabkan degradasi alam sekitar. Itu jumlah pengeksratan emas pada 200 pendulang emas. Jumlahnya pengeksrakan akan menjadi jumlah emas 200 pendulang emas kali dengan 0.5 gram sama dengan 100 gram per hari. Okay, untuk C pula adalah luaran. Walaupun penambangan hanya berpertimbangan kos swasta, beberapa kos luaran dikenal pastilah ke atas masyarakat. Satu adalah degradasi perkhidmatan ekosistem, pengurangan fungsi penularan air, kehilangan biodiversiti akuatik, peningkatan hakisan tepi sungai. Lepas tu penurunan perkhidmatan budaya dan rekreasi. Kesan terhadap penggunaan sungai lain, nelayan mengalami stok ikan yang lebih rendah. Lepas tu komuniti menghadapi kuantiti air yang lebih buruk, kos rawatan air yang lebih tinggi untuk isi rumah. Yang ketiga adalah pengurangan sumber jangka panjang. Deposit emas tidak boleh diperbaharui, generasi akan datang kehilangan akses. Lepas tu 4 adalah kos kerajaan. Pemantauan aktiviti haram, pemulihan sungai dan pembelanjaan penguatkuasaan dan pentadbiran. Untuk demonstrasi ketidakcekapan pula, manfaat swasta, emas dipulihkan darab harga 0.5 gram per hari darab dengan RM250 gram sama dengan RM125 per hari. Kos swasta, kos operasi plus kos peluang RM25 kali dengan 50 sama dengan 75 per hari. Okey, ini terlalu banyak menambangkan kemasukan pasaran berdasarkan sumber berbanding optimum sosial kerana inisiatif individu mendorong penggunaan yang berlebihan. Okay, for the 3.2, regulated access scenario listen system, Kelantan policy introduce listen, create practical exclusive and reducing opening access special. A is how those listen change incentive. Listen, limit the number of panels, reduce the cost to interlisten feed companies in case and inspect return to listen panel, acknowledge more responsibility behavior during the monitoring panel now face. And then legal consequences for non-compliance, reduce congestion, more practicably income. Okay, for the B, is this police efficient? Strange, reduce effective entry, slow environmental degradation, allow government outside generosity reduce for monitoring. Limitation is if too many listening issue over extraction still, with performance may lead to eager panning, and listen aloud main favor consent groups query and a concern. And then C is what the optimal number of listen. The optimal number of listen is achieved where making social benefits, sama making social costs. Social cost, imagine social benefit, imagine social cost. This required estimating social benefit extraction level, accounting for ecosystem service value, considering enforcing capacity. Optimal outcome pula is positive result and risk remains. Ecosystem service perseveres long term sustainability is achieved. Okay, for this if figure 1 is private benefit, social benefit, private cost and social cost vs number of planners lah. This we can see the red color. And the second figure is figure 4, the comparison of net annual income across scenarios. Okay. And then this one is private benefit, social benefit, private cost and social cost. This you can see the column private benefit, social benefit, private cost and social cost. And then this dia punya jadual dan ni dia punya carta yang saya buat.
Okay, for my part, I will explain the policy recommendations to improve the management of gold panning activities in Kelantan. So the first one, river segment gold panning quotas. So the first point is limit number of panners per river segment. Second is seasonal restriction during monsoon. And the third one is based on river carrying capacity. So the first recommendation is a quantity-based control, which is the introduction of river segment gold panning quotas. So under this policy, the state government would limit the number of gold panners allowed in each river segment, especially in environmentally sensitive areas. Seasonal restrictions should be applied during the monsoon season to reduce safety risk and river damage. So this policy helps prevent over extraction and protects river ecosystem services such as clean water and aquatic habitats. So the second is environmental licensing fee and restoration fund. So for the first point is tiered license fee system. Second is fee reflects environmental risk. And the third point is funds used for river restoration and monitoring. So for the second recommendation is a price-based instrument, which is the implementation of an environmental licensing fee with a restoration fund. So the license fee should be tiered based on environmental risk. So areas with higher impact pay higher fees. The collected fees can be used for river restoration, monitoring and rehabilitation activities. So this approach improve economic efficiency by internalizing environmental costs while ensuring that the rivers are protected in the long term. So for the third recommendation is community river co-management committees. So the first point involve local planners and village leaders. Second is community monitoring of activities, and the third point is local conflict resolution mechanism. So for the third recommendation is focus on community-based management through the formation of community river co-management committees. So these committees would involve local gold planners, village leaders, and representatives from the state lands and mines office. So the local communities can help monitor activities, encourage compliance with rules, and resolve conflicts at the community level. So this reduces the enforcement cost and increases the local ownership of the resource. Okay, so for the next slide, I'm going to talk about the integrated policy package. So combined policy approach, the first point is quotas plus fees and plus the community management. Second point is balances economy, environment and equity. So last but not least, more effective than single policy. So next is why this package works. So for the first point is prevents over exploitation of rivers. Second is protects ecosystem services, and the third one ensures fair access for locals. So this policy package works because it uses more than one approach to manage the river, which is a common pool resource. So first is quantity controls, such as limiting the number of gold panels, prevent overuse of the river. So when fewer people pen for gold at one time, river damage sedimentation are reduced. So second is environmental fees. Make gold planners share the cost of environmental damage. So the money collected can be used to repair and protect the rivers. So this helps maintain ecosystem services like clean water. And third is community-based management, improve rule compliance. So local people are more likely to follow rules that they help create and monitor. So this also reduce the enforcement problems for the government. So when combined, these three policies support each other. Limit, protect the river, fish fund restoration, and community involvement ensures cooperation. So for the short conclusion is gold panning create income opportunities. Rivers are common pool resources and strong policy needed for sustainability. So finally, these three policies should be implemented together as an integrated policy package. Quantity controls limit overuse. Environmental fees provide sustainable funding, and community management improve compliance and governance. Compared to using a single policy, this combined approach is more effective in balancing economic opportunities for residents while ensuring environmental sustainability. Okay, so that is all for my part. So thank you. Okay, so for the conclusion, market analysis is an ongoing process that helps businesses adapt to market changes by understanding customers, competitors, and trends. Companies can make better and more sustainable decisions. So in conclusion, market analysis is not a one-time activity, but an ongoing process that plays a crucial role in effective business planning and decision making. So by continuously understanding customer needs, monitoring competitors, and identifying market trends, businesses can reduce uncertainty, adapt to changes in the market, and respond proactively to new opportunities and challenges. So this allows companies to remain competitive, improve their strategies, and make well-informed decisions that support long-term growth and sustainability. So that's all from our group. So thank you.